In a city drowning in crime, one cop is going to get a second chance. This week on 80s Rewatch, we head for the mean streets of Detroit for Paul Verhoeven's sci-fi classic, Robocop. Ultra-violent, razor-sharp satire, and packed with unforgettable one-liners. We break down the action, the politics, the suits, and yes, I'd buy that for $1. Dead or alive, you're coming with us. I'm Darren, and along with my co-host Simon, let's rewind the VHS, hit play, and go back to 1987 to see if Robocop still holds up in 2026 on 80s Rewatch. Give us 3 minutes and we'll give you the world.
That screams 80s to me.
Drop your gun. You are under arrest.
Oh, it obliterates him.
He's a cop killer.
Can you fly, Bobby? There's no way living. He should be alive after that.
Come quite late or there will be trouble.
That is brilliant, whoever's put that in.
You have 20 seconds to comply.
It really is. Brilliant for its time.
So, Simon, Robocop. For me, one of the best action films of the 80s.
Definitely. I'll agree with that. This film is an absolute classic. I remember the playground chatter about this film in 1987. You know, everybody's saying, have you seen Robocop? Or Robocop's coming out. And you're like, what's Robocop? And then you started to, you know, you got little snippets off people, what it was about. And you was like, I need to watch that. That sounds really good. And it is a true classic from the 80s.
Well, I remember seeing the trailer to it on Film 88 with Barry Norman. I've mentioned that in previous podcasts, haven't I? And
Yes.
that used to be like, it showed you all the latest releases, but it were on at 10 o'clock at night, so you had to stay up. I remember seeing this and I thought exactly the same. Oh my God, I cannot believe it. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. It just seemed, I don't know, the imagination in it. It just seemed so realistic and so obvious. Why wouldn't you have police officers that can do this?
I think, yeah, you're right, because like you're looking at it and it's obviously set futuristic, isn't it? And like I say, why wouldn't you have a super cop, a Robocop, to take on the mean streets of Detroit?
It seemed futuristic, but at the same time, it seemed normal.
It did. It seemed quite gritty, you know, like the 80s were. It seemed quite gritty in where it was set, because it was obviously supposedly set in Detroit, but it was actually filmed in Dallas, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yes, it was filmed in Dallas because Detroit, believe it or not, was not futuristic enough. So they set it in Dallas because of the high-rise buildings, the glass buildings, and they thought that would make it look more futuristic.
You know, when you look back, when I was rewatching it, I thought to myself, it does look futuristic. Are these buildings superimposed, or is that how it was back in 1987 in what I thought was Detroit? Because most of our cities aren't as futuristic as that now.
No, they're not. The buildings aren't really. I would imagine some of it would have been, you know, mock-up buildings. Especially the OCP building, that looks quite, you know, when he goes in, that looks quite futuristic on the outside.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
It does. Good. Yeah, then you get the opposite. You get like the police station, which is just a run-down building.
Yeah.
Pretty much in the middle of nowhere.
It looks kind of like a one you'd see in an average New York cop station.
Yeah, it is. And I think it was a disused building, and I think they just reused it for Robocop. That's why it's in the state it's in. It looks derelict because it pretty much was. And then they just made it look like a police station.
And when you look at them police stations, they all look as though they're struggling. They all look underfunded, don't they? Yeah. They all look understaffed.
Yeah, they do. And I think, like you say, it adds to the grit of it, and it gives it that aesthetic that you think, yeah, I can see this. You can see that, like you say, the suits are all the money men, and the police are pretty much the paupers, aren't they? They haven't got money. They haven't got money for anything, really. That's and then the suits are trying to make this super cop.
Yeah. So can you remember where you first saw it? Because this was released fairly late. I'm sure you wouldn't have been old enough to see this.
Yeah, I would have been. I would have been, because the release dates for this were quite surprising. In America, they got this on July 17th, 1987. And we didn't get it in the UK until February the 5th, 1988.
88?
1988. So as we're calling this an 87 movie, which it is, because obviously it was released in 87, us here in the UK, we didn't get it till 1988.
Ah, right. So there's me saying film 87, and it was really film 88 I was watching it on.
Yeah, it could have been, because obviously America will have had it for 6 months, and then the VHS release is what I would have seen it on. We didn't get that till, now this might surprise you, we didn't get it till the 11th of November 1988. So pretty much a whole year after America had the theatrical release for us to get it on VHS. Because at that point, obviously, it was a rated R, wasn't it? I don't know what the rating was in the UK. Would it have been a 15 or an 18?
I think it was an 18, because I did actually go to the cinema to see this. Yes.
Oh, did you? Was you old enough then, Darren? Was you of age to be watching an 18 film at that in 1988?
Well, being born in 69, I was on the verge, yes. So I might have been 17, 18, but I'm sure it was an 18 because of how violent it was. But yeah, I saw it first on the cinema. And I don't know where I found the money from to go, because at that age, I think I was on a youth training scheme. So I would have been paid about £29.50 a week. Oh, those were the days, weren't they?
Oh, what does that equate to nowadays?
Probably £30.
It's probably the same, yeah. Probably exactly the same. But like you say, back then, for us, like we've said before on this podcast, times were hard for the UK in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Especially for trades and things like that. Because was you still doing electrics? Was it being a trainee electrician?
No. I'd not long since left school. So It was, I think I was working in a market for quite a few weeks and absolutely hated it.
But it allowed you to buy a cinema ticket to watch this absolute classic, Darren.
It certainly did. But the unfortunate thing is, all my other friends, they were out of work and some refused to go on a youth training scheme. So I had nobody to go with. So I remember an old school friend, and I walked up to his house in the freezing cold. And I knocked on his door and I told him about this film. And I can remember now, I could hear his dad shouting in the background, "Close that door," because it was February and it was freezing. But to close the door and probably shut me up, he said, "Okay then, I'll come. I'll meet you on Saturday." And we met on Saturday, and there we went. We went to the cinema to see this fantastic film.
Can you remember how it made you feel? Because obviously you watched it at the cinema, I watched it on VHS. Was it one of those films that you watched and when you came out of the cinema, it was like, oh, that was fantastic?
Oh, yeah, absolutely 100%. And I don't know about you, I always feel a little bit, how can I say, embarrassed when the lights go up in the cinema. Almost like you don't know what to do when the film's ended. And you kind of just shuffle your way out. You don't want to show any emotion, whether you've enjoyed it or anything. Probably being British, that, isn't it? But yeah, when I got outside, it just kind of lifted you. It just made you feel fantastic. And the fact that you got in and it was an 18, it made you feel even better.
Yes, absolutely. Because when you're that age, like younger, you're like, I've seen an 18. And all the kids are like, have you done that? And you're like, I got in, I look 18. And it's like one of those, it's just, I remember, like I say, everybody on the school playground, I would have been in secondary school. It would have been my first year of secondary school at Highfield. And I remember, like I say, everyone saying, Robocop, I can't remember who someone watched it first, like, oh, you need to watch it, it's brilliant. And obviously we'll talk about the scenes later. There's certain scenes, you need to watch this, it's brilliant. And then it would have been, for me, it would have been going into Christine's, renting it from there. Because like I say, my mum and dad, well, my mum especially, she was really good. She let us have 18s. Because I'd have been 12, 11, coming up to 12 then. Like we said before, I wouldn't let my kids rent an 18. My mum did. And I can remember watching it. And probably like you sit there. And at that point, I don't think I'd seen anything so violent.
Yeah.
Without the being a horror. It was more the violence to Murphy, and we're going to touch on it later. There's quite a few bits in this film. Not just the one where he gets absolutely destroyed. He does a few times. And it's just the violence towards him is quite surprising even now.
But, would you, your children, the age that they are, would you let them watch that at your age?
No, definitely not.
So why did your mum and dad let you watch it?
I suppose back then, I mean, we talk about this, and back then times for us were different. I mean, you go out in the morning, you'd be out all day, your mum and dad didn't know where you were.
Yeah.
And they'd be at work all day, where now, if it's school holidays, the wife will have time with the kids. I'll have time with the kids. My mum and dad will. Carrie's mum and dad will. And it's like they're never really on their own to a degree, where we were always on our own, wasn't we? We was always on our own. So even if your mum and dad wouldn't rent you this film, you'd get it from somewhere and you'd all just go around your mate's house, so you'd watch it anyway.
Do you think that back then we didn't have the internet and we didn't have social media and we didn't have any of those things, whereas now I suppose a lot of young people may find it hard to see what the difference is between real and not real. When you're going to the video library and getting a video, you know that it's not real because it's a video, so you can enjoy it. Whereas now, the content that's online is ridiculous. So maybe as parents, we're all a bit more protective.
Yeah, we are, I must admit. I mean, when my kids are watching YouTube, I mean, we all watch YouTube. I do. I watch probably more YouTube than I do normal television nowadays. I think that's the way our viewing's going. And it's more Netflix, it's more Amazon, isn't it? Because we want things instantly. And when the kids are watching the YouTube shorts, you can be watching something randomly about football, and then it has some like clown in it swearing, and you're like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
So you like, you turn that off, you turn it off. But I'm thinking then, like you've just said, I mean, my daughter's the same age as what I was when I watched this. And I'm telling her to turn that off because it's got swearing in it. And like you've just said, I'm watching these things at that age. But it was a different culture then. It really was. It was more of a, I don't know, how can we describe it? It was more, I think it was a lot freer, wasn't we? We was just completely, we were kids in the 80s. Yes. And I thank God that we were kids in the 80s, because we talk about this regularly. The 80s is the best decade ever, I think.
Yes, and it's not done us any harm, has it?
No, it hasn't. And like you say, it's just that time. Just because, like we've said numerous times before, watching a film in the 80s, it wasn't just renting a film. It was an experience. It was an event.
An event, yes.
You look forward to it. Now, I don't look forward to, and I don't mean this like how it probably comes across, I don't look forward to sitting down tonight because it's Friday night and sticking a film on Netflix. I don't get that same feeling.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's not, it's because it's there. I know it's there. I just click on it. Don't get me wrong, these films I really want to see, but I don't get that same experience as what I had when I was between the ages of probably 9 to 15 when I watched films.
Brilliant. So while we're on the subject, where did you rewatch it?
I rewatched this, Darren. If you're a regular listener to this podcast, you know what's going to come out of my mouth now. I watched this.
It's what's going in your mouth.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. That's if you're another listener, you will get to this point. I know Darren's been dying to know what the biscuit of choice is this week. So I watched this on the sofa, earphones in, and I put it on the TV on my favourite place on the sofa with a packet of jammy Dodgers last night, Darren, and my normal cup of coffee.
Classic jammy Dodgers.
Classic jammy Dodgers. Where did you rewatch this, Darren?
Well, I, again, was in the front room. Pyjamas on, dressing gown on, feet up, stretched out, bottle of wine and a bowl of crisps.
Very 80s. Very 80s, Darren. The dressing gown did it for me.
Well, apart from the pyjamas, I couldn't watch, be in my pyjamas in front of any of my friends. But a bowl of crisps, and I do insist on a bowl of crisps because there's none of that rattling, that rustling of the packets.
Exactly. We don't want that. Don't want that interrupting. And I quite enjoyed this one. I probably say this all the time, but this one, we spoke about it when we was at work. I was really looking forward to watching this because it's been a while since I've watched it. So you forget quite a lot of it and you're quite, I'd say, pleasantly surprised by it again. And a film of this age to quite, pleasantly surprise you, I find it holds up, and that says to me, that's a really good film. That's a classic.
So what else was going on in 1980? Was it 1987?
1987.
We'll go with 1987 because that was the release date.
Yes, that's the theatrical release in America, so we'll go for that. So the top 10 films in 1987, 10 to 1 as we normally do. Number 10 was The Witches of Eastwick.
I've never seen it.
It's a good film. It's got Jack Nicholson
really?
and Cher. Yeah, it's quite a good film. Yeah, it's not bad. I quite like Jack Nicholson, though, at this point.
He's brilliant.
Yeah, fantastic. Number 9, this one has got to be soon, Darren. It really has got to be soon. Lethal Weapon.
Oh, my goodness me. That was classic cop film.
Buddy cop film, isn't it, as they call it. Number 8 was Stakeout.
Stakeout's a great film. I've seen that. That's
is.
Richard Dreyfuss, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And this one, I like this one. It's probably a guilty pleasure of mine. The Secret of My Success.
Yes, I remember seeing that. Skegness Cinema. Yes, I remember seeing that.
Very
Secret
good.
of My Success. A bit of a come down because of the Back to the Future, but still not bad at all.
Yeah, I'll go with that one. Number 6 was The Untouchables.
You know what? I've never seen that as well.
That's not bad. I've not seen it probably since the 80s. So I think if we do some point do it, we can both then watch it and then give our opinion. Because I think I've only watched it once, so I'll probably have forgot most of it. Number 5 was Moonstruck.
Another one I've never seen. Blimey.
No, I don't think I have. It's Cher, isn't it? I know who's in it, but I've never seen it. And number 4 is Good Morning Vietnam.
Brilliant.
Good film. Yeah, really good film. Number 3, Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Oh, Eddie Murphy again.
Yeah. Number 2 is Fatal Attraction, which is another good film.
It's a monster of a film, that. Yes.
Yeah. And number 1's quite surprising, but it is a good film. And again, I've not watched it in years. And it's probably not one you'd automatically think of. 3 Men and a Baby.
3 Men and a Baby, I have seen. One of the first films I went to see the missus with, because I met her not long after, was 3 Men and a Little Lady. That was just into the 90s, I think. But yeah, I watched that first and then 3 Men and a Baby afterwards. But yeah, good. Ted Danson, isn't it? And
Ted Danson and Steve Guttenberg and who's the other one?
Magnum P.I.
Yes, Tom Selleck. That's him. You've got it. Where did you think Robocop landed on the domestic box office?
Oh, I don't know, really. It's different to all those films, apart from maybe Lethal Weapon. But hopefully it's in the top 20.
Because this surprised me, but because it came out July, so obviously it got a 6-month run, but it would have just been America and places like that. It came in at number 14.
40, yeah. It seemed to be a different genre of film, didn't it? With all those other films knocking about and the odd action film.
Yeah.
It's still quite credible.
It is 14's not bad for saying that we didn't get it till the following year.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's not too bad.
So, Simon, shall we jump in?
Absolutely, Darren. Let's fire up the Ed 209 and let's dive in.
Very good. So, does it not start with a news media break?
I find these quite bizarre. This was a bizarre start because these stories are quite random as well, aren't they? And there's adverts on them.
Yes, and what does he say? Give us 3 minutes and we'll give you the world.
That's very good, Darren. Yes, he does. And like you say, you're watching it and you think, oh, it's quite a random start. Because at first we get the screenshot of it. That is Detroit, the original, where it says Robocop.
Okay.
That is Detroit. That's the only bit of Detroit that's in the film. And then, like I say, we go into there and then it cuts off, doesn't it, to the Soups, is it? Or is it Murphy?
Yes, I mean, we've had that advert, haven't we, that big operation. What I can't understand is, if I would have got this on video first, I'd have been checking to see if I'd got the right film.
Yeah, I get that, because you get that silly story, don't you, about the president in space, and he's floating, isn't he? You're like, what's going on here? But then it leads you in, doesn't it, to Dick Jones.
Yes.
And he's talking, and then we see the villain of the film, and I think he is fantastic as the villain. Clarence Boddicker, isn't it, his character?
Yes, I didn't quite like him originally when I first saw it, but I've grown to like him now, because usually you want a bad guy to look a bad guy. I don't think he's your conventional one, but he's nasty.
Well, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. I was like you, and rewatching it, I think it's very clever, because they didn't go for some like big, booming kind of character to go against Robocop. They went for a regular looking person that looks more of an accountant than a killer, doesn't he?
It does. Yeah.
And he plays it well. And some of the lines he uses is very, very good. And looking at it, when I rewatched it, I'm really on board with his character. I really liked his character. I thought he played it really well.
Yes, and in that newsreel, it said he killed 31 police officers.
Yes. Well done. I was going to ask you that if you know how many police he killed. Yeah, 31.
Can you imagine?
Killing
You'd think
31
there'd be a massive manhunt out for him to nail this person because he's got no respect whatsoever.
No, he hasn't. Yeah, but I think as you find out as the film goes on, he's quite well protected, isn't he?
Yes, as we find out. So then we see Murphy, don't we? And he's checking in for the first time.
Yes, he's just been transferred, hasn't he? Do you remember where he got transferred from?
No.
Metro South.
Metro South. Well done.
Metro South. But the first thing that hits me with Peter Weller, isn't it? His character. Yes. I think I've heard this so many times. It's the jawline and the bone structure of his face. And yes. I think that's one of the things that drew them into his character, how he would look in the suit. Because originally I found this out the other day, quite bizarrely, they were going to approach Arnold Schwarzenegger. Bearing in mind, Schwarzenegger, he'd just done Terminator. And I thought that's a bit close. But I think the problem with Schwarzenegger was he was too big for the suit.
Yes.
So they needed somebody quite slender, which he is. And again, I think it's because we love these films. That character is perfect. He plays it brilliantly.
He does. And when he's been checking in, I think the officer Reed says to him, "We work for a living down here, Murphy." He
does. And then they're all going through, aren't they? And they come into the locker room, and it's one of the police that Clarence has just murdered, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, Fredrickson.
Yes. That's it. Well done, yeah. So they're clearing out his locker, aren't they? And I thought this was quite bizarre because he says the funeral's tomorrow.
Yes, he didn't he? And he's trying to collect money or anything, isn't he, for the family?
He is, and now we know a funeral is weeks away. It can be a month after, can't it?
Is this probably because they're all dropping like flies?
Yeah, because obviously Clarence and his gang are just picking them off, aren't they? Anybody that goes for him, he just gets them out of the way.
But the police officers are considering striking because of this, aren't they?
They are, yes.
But I like it when Reed kind of puts them straight and he says, "Police officers don't strike." I like him. He's very authoritarian. It's his way.
He's old school, isn't he? He's the police, and that's it. And the police do the good work. Criminals are the criminals. The police are the good guys. That's how he comes across.
And then we meet Lewis, don't we? Anne Lewis for the first time. And she's controlling this violent criminal with a few smart punches and kicks.
Yeah, she can hold her own, can Lewis? I mean, because she takes one, doesn't she? Knocks her down to start with, and then she gets up and just absolutely puts him in his place. And this is where she meets Murphy for the first time.
Yeah, and you look as though they don't kind of get on. And I think that's a lot of cop kind of shows are like that, don't they? They don't initially get on. They're sussing each other out.
Yeah, it's like a testosterone-y thing, isn't it? Who's the better cop?
But then they both go out into the car, and they seem to be, going on a little bit more.
They do, yeah. They drive away, and then this is where then we see the scene of Bob, isn't it? Bob Morton. I quite like his character.
I'm unsure. I don't know. I think he's a bit smarmy.
Yeah, but he probably gets what he deserves a bit later on in the film. But like I say, he's a typical young executive that's wanting to get up the ladder, isn't he?
Yes, he is. But would you trust him? You see, no, you wouldn't, would you?
No, not at all. And then they go into the boardroom and they're discussing then, aren't they, the future of law enforcement.
Oh, they are. But when they're going up to the boardroom, that lift, you've got to have some guts to go up in that lift.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking, like you say, it's just like a tube going up, isn't it? This is then where we see Dick Jones again.
Yeah.
Don't we? He's not a nice man, is he, Dick Jones?
No, and it's clear that Morton doesn't like him.
Yeah, and he doesn't like Morton, does he, to be fair? No.
But it's the old man, isn't it, that holds the boardroom meeting about Delta City, which is going to replace the old Detroit. But Dick Jones then, he gives his take on security.
He does,
and says, we need to run a 24-hour day police service. A 24-hour day police officer is what we need. And introduces Ed 209.
This is an impressive-looking bit of kit, isn't it, Ed 209, to be fair?
It is. And do you know what the Ed stands for?
No, go on, Darren. You're going to tell me. What does it stand for?
Enforcement Droid 209.
Clever.
Clever. Well, I suppose I am, right?
I like it. Yeah, it is. And I mean, what I thought was, initially, this was just me and my own thoughts. How did they get it up there?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because we found out later on he can't do stairs. So how did they get it up there?
Yeah, and I don't think that it could fit in a lift.
No, definitely not. But sorry, that's just me getting off on the thing. But no, and then they bring him in, don't they, into the room? And quite rightly, I think I'd be the same as everybody else. Everyone else is backing away from it.
Absolutely, definitely.
I would be. You look at it, and it's got these monster guns on the front of it, and it's a menacing looking thing.
And then Dick Jones chooses a volunteer. He doesn't ask for one, he chooses one.
He picked poor old Kenny, and Kenny's come up in the lift at the start, hasn't it, with Bob?
Yes, well done.
Yes, you see. And then poor old Kenny, what does he make Kenny do?
Well, he gives Kenny a gun, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And tells him to point it at Ed 209.
Which, all right, you think this is a simulation, and he points it at Ed 209, and then he springs into life, doesn't he? Because obviously the gun pointed at him.
Oh, he does. He says, you have 20 seconds to comply. Throw down your weapon.
Yeah, and he does. And to be fair, he throws the weapon down, and then he carries on saying, you've got 15 seconds. Now, at this point, I'm thinking in my mind, run. Out the door and run. But he doesn't. He just stands there, doesn't he? And he's a bit petrified. Then it goes for him again, doesn't it? It takes a step towards him and says,
yes.
10 seconds. And it's a menacing thing. And then 5 seconds.
And then they try to shut it down, but it won't turn off. And he absolutely blows this poor man to bits. And how realistic are those gunshots?
Oh, it obliterates him. And I think, looking back at some trivia, I think they're all like blood packs and meat packs on him to give the effect of, him being absolutely blown to pieces. But when he falls onto the model of Delta City, it doesn't stop. It just keeps going at him, doesn't it? And it's popping bullets into him. And everybody's just like looking like, and the bit that made me smile? When at the end of it, he's just laid there. I must have had about 200 bullets put into him. And someone shouts, get a medic.
Yeah.
I think he's past a medic at that point. But nobody seems overbothered, do they, that he's just been blown to bits.
No, and he tells the old man, I'm sure it's only a glitch, but he says it in such a blasé manner, like we kill people every day.
Yeah, not in a boardroom you don't, and not in that manner you don't kill them that way. And then this is where Bob then sees his opportunity.
He does, yes.
To say that he can also make one of these super cops.
Yeah, but Dick Jones tries to interrupt, and the old man puts him straight, doesn't he? Tells him, shut up.
Yeah, and he says he needs a presentation. Is it half an hour he gives him for his presentation?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And like you say, it's like you've just witnessed all this happen. And obviously what made me smile is Ed 209 is just still in the room behind them, guns smoking.
Yes, both barrels.
Both barrels smoking, and no one seems to be overfussed what it's just done. And I'd be like, we're not building that. You would be, wouldn't you? You're not putting that into production. No way living.
Exactly. So now do we cut to where we see Murphy back on the streets, and he's doing some pretty good gunslinging, isn't he?
Yes, he does it because his son likes the TV series, isn't it? Do you remember what the TV series was called? Do you not remember what the TV series was? No. DJ Laser.
DJ Laser?
DJ Laser. And this is the signature move, isn't it, of Murphy's?
Yes.
Because I think, a bit of trivia, they didn't, because it was a real gun that he was spinning. They didn't want him spinning the real gun in case anything went wrong. So he used to, between takes, take himself off and just spin it till he got it perfect. And then he wasn't supposed to do this in the film, and he just did it. And that Paul Verhoeven said, no, keep doing that. Keep doing that. That's really good. Yeah, so he does it really well. And then this is where they get the call that there's been a robbery, hasn't there?
Yes, and we see the robbers, and we see Clarence Podrick, and he's just a total nutcase, isn't he? And he's in the back of the truck, and he notices all this money is burnt.
And do you know what made me laugh? He said he had to blow the doors off the safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, I needed to blow the doors off. That's how he got burnt. But he says it's totally traceable. Oh, okay, fine. But this is where we see the gang for the first time, isn't it? We see all his henchmen.
Yes, and we've got Murphy and Lewis, and they're in pursuit now. They're on the tail.
They're after them, and I thought this was quite good because they see them, don't they, behind? So then they load all the guns, and when they kick the door open, they've disappeared.
Yes.
Where have they gone? And they're alongside. It's Emil, isn't it? One of the henchmen that's driving.
Yes, well remembered. Well picked up on his name.
Emil, yes. And this is where we see the first real gunfight of Robocop. And again, this is where you get the sense, even though it's shot in Dallas, it's like industrial, isn't it, everywhere?
It is, yes. There were a lot of industrial shootouts in those days. I suppose they found a waste ground. You can't really do it in public, can you?
No, which they do nowadays, don't they, in films, because they shut down streets and things. Back then, they probably couldn't do it as easy as probably they do now. But I think this adds to the film. It adds to the setting, the scenery. That's the word, isn't it? But
we see what a nutcase Bodiger is because he chucks the man out of the back doors, doesn't he?
Do you remember the line? Yeah, do you remember the line he uses?
No.
Because the person that blew the door off the safe and burnt the money was Bobby. And it's poor old Bobby that gets shot in the knee as they open the door. And he comes out with this iconic line, doesn't he, to him? He goes, "Can you fly, Bobby?" And then they throw him out of it and he lands onto the police car. Yes. So he has no regard for anybody, does he?
Not at all.
Not at all. They're just throwaway people, human beings to Clarence.
Yes. But they get him off, don't they? They get him off the front of the bonnet and they continue their pursuit until they finally see his truck in an old steel mill.
Again, the setting, brilliant, because that mill just looks brilliant.
Scary.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, scary. That's it. You've hit the nail on the head. Scary. And like you say, they see the truck. It's quite funny because they're looking out the windscreen of the car where poor old Bobby's just gone through it. So there isn't really a windscreen. And then they go and they ask for backup, but they say backup's going to be, is it 15 or 20 minutes away?
Yeah, and it's unavailable. Now, I know police are brave and they put their lives on the line just as much as soldiers and firemen and everybody else. But there's no way they should be going in there, is there? They should wait for backup. They know they're in there, but Lewis calls it, doesn't she? And she says, let's do it.
Yeah, she makes the call and they go in. And then they separate, which I thought was quite strange.
It is quite strange because surely together you've got more chance of stopping someone. You might run into 3 or 4 of them on your own and then you've had it.
Yeah, because we see what happens with Lewis straight away. One of them takes her straight out of the game, doesn't she? Knocks her off the gantry.
Oh, yeah, he's taking a leak or something and then he gets the upper hand and, yeah, she's off and he's got this really crazy kind of laugh.
And then she's down and he goes off and then obviously it's just Murphy then against most of the gang.
Yes, and this is the first time he uses his line, isn't it? Dead or alive, you're coming with me. Which is, it's got to be one of Hollywood's great lines.
And he says it brilliantly. The tone and everything is spot on because he shoots one of the gang and it's Emil left and then the other ones appear, don't they? And then Clarence appears.
Yes, the nasty one, the leader. You know you're in trouble when he turns up.
You know, this is just brutality. He just, he's talking to him, he's goading him, isn't he, to start with?
Yeah.
And he takes his helmet off and he gives it to Emil and then he's just saying, are you a tough cop or something, doesn't he? Or something, a brave cop. And then this bit, like, he knocks him down, doesn't he? Because he hits him with a gun on the back of the legs.
Mm.
And then it's setting the scene for what's about to happen. And this is just brutal.
It is, yes.
Bearing in mind, this is Murphy's first day on the job.
Yes, it is. Yeah, you forget that, don't you?
Yeah, it's his first day, probably his first morning on the job. And it's his last day on the job, pretty much, isn't it?
But he shoots his hand off first, doesn't he?
Oh, horrific. I mean, even watching it back when I watched it, you're like, what am I watching here? Because it doesn't give any inkling that this is going to happen, does it? No. Obviously, something needs to happen to him to be turned into Robocop. But just the manner of this, because they had to take so much of it out to get the rating down, because this is what was making it like an R rating, and then they had to cut so much of it out. But it's just the calmness of Clarence when he's just blows his hand off. And you see Murphy look down to see his hand is gone.
And then his arm goes, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, because he stands up, doesn't he? He tries to walk away and he's staggering. And he tells him to turn round. And then he says to the boys, doesn't he, he's all yours. And then they blow his arm off from the shoulder. It's gruesome. And then obviously he drops to his knees. And the bit I like about this, because this is before CGI, this is before all the everything now CGI. This is proper animatronics at its best. Yes. This looks brilliant because somebody's gone to all that effort to make him. And it does pretty much look like him. You know it's not if you look at it properly. But just that whole sequence of the stop motion and the, you know, brilliant. And they just unload all their guns into him.
And then to me, it looks as though Bodiger gets bored and puts the final one in his head.
Yeah, because they say, amazingly, he's still alive.
Yeah.
And, you know, they must, God knows how many times they shot him. And then, like you say, Clarence, no mercy, just walk straight up and bang, straight in the head.
Yeah, we've had
like it's nothing. Yeah, like it's nothing. And then poor old Lewis discovers him, doesn't she?
She does, yes.
Oh, it's just horrific. And, you know, looking back at it, even now, the age I am now, you just think, wow, that scene is just mind-blowing.
Yeah, and then Murphy's in hospital, isn't he? And he's being rushed in hospital to be operated on. So we find out that he must be the slightest bit alive.
I thought that. I thought, how is he still alive? There's no way living. He should be alive after that. And they're trying to save him, aren't they? And then obviously they can't save him after what's just happened.
But I love the camera angle on this because it's from Murphy's point of view, isn't it?
It is.
From the operation, looking. And I don't know, what must be going through your head at that time when you're totally reliant on those people to save you?
Yeah. And like I say, they can't save him. And they call it, do you remember what time they call when they stop? He says it very faintly if you listen. He gives the time of death.
No.
6:50.
6:50.
So that must be in the evening. So he's pretty much probably just done a day at work. And then that's happened to him.
Because before that, they was giving him electric shock treatment and he was starting to reminisce, wasn't he, about his wife and his child. And who knows what goes through your head when you're on that table.
The last scene that you see is Clarence just putting the last one into him. And that's the last scene. And then the next bit, I love this bit. This bit, I think, is really well shot, really well done. Because now we start to see it through Robocop's perspective, don't we?
It's a brilliant transition, yes.
Oh, it is. I mean, when she walks up and all you see is the hand turning the screen to focus, like his thing. And then they're trying to do little bits to him and that bloke's getting annoyed and swearing. And then we see Bob come in. And I think this is a bit like, he says about the arm, doesn't he?
Yeah, he said lose the arm. He wants total prosthesis or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that's it. So then they say, right, prep him, shut him down, prep him for it to be operated on. And then they take him off. And then, again, we're seeing all this again. And is it New Year's Eve, the next scene?
Yes. There's that girl. She gives him a big kiss, doesn't she? On the eyes, not on the mouth.
Yeah, on the screen, basically, isn't it? On the screen, hood,
that's it.
On his hood. And then it's still very, very good because they bring it, him through and it's his perspective. And then they say, right, then they pull the plastic off him. And we still at this point haven't seen him.
No. Have we seen the arm yet? Have we seen the... Because it's Bob Morton shakes the arm and the way it grabs him, he's like, that is one grip.
Yeah, he says, doesn't he? Oh, he's got some grip on him. And then everyone's clapping him as he's walking. And this is the first time you actually see him. Because do you remember the first time you see him?
Is he walking in the precinct? Not the precinct, in this police station. And you can hear the footsteps.
No, you see him just before that. If you look, you can see him. There's a monitor as they're all clapping him as he's walking. You see him walk past the monitor. You see his torso. Yeah, I know. You see his torso. This is the first point you actually see him, and he walks past. And then they're walking him into the precinct.
Yes, and Reed doesn't like it, does he? But he stops when he hears the footsteps, the thuds, and they are proper thuds.
Oh, yeah, they're proper mechanical thuds. Because I dare bet he'd weigh a little bit, Robo. And then, like you say, because obviously they've not told him what's going on wherever they're working. Nobody really knows he's there, do they? Because they're all like, oh, it's Super Cop.
Yes. And they take him through his procedures. They kind of, where is he? He's kind of like in a makeshift cell, isn't he? And they give him his duties. And can you remember what the 3 duties were?
Yes, they are serve the public trust is number 1.
Well done.
Number 2 is protect the innocent.
And number 3?
Uphold the law. And do you know what number 4 is? Thank you, Darren. Thank you. Do you know what number 4 is?
This is a trick question. There wasn't number 4.
There is. If you look on the private detectives, there's number 4. And it says 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4 is at the bottom and it says hidden. There's a hidden one. Do you know what the hidden one was?
No. I remember I'll probably be pouring a nice little bit of wine by now and probably having a few more crisps. And I just probably take my eyes just off the screen for a sec.
Yeah, you see, it doesn't tell us what it is. It just says hidden. But
right.
It comes out at the end. Obviously, do you want me to tell you what it is or do you want me to tell you what it is later?
Later.
So remind me what
number.
I'll tell you it when it gets to the scene. Right. Okay. Right. Yeah. So then he's there and they take him through, don't they, into the
shooting range.
Yeah. Now this is where we first see that iconic gun.
Oh, is it a gun or is it like a small rifle?
It's like a small rifle that's been altered to look like this amazing bit of kit. And obviously they're all there, aren't they, in the shooting, because Lewis is there. And then everybody stops because you just hear this immense sound where theirs is like just one gunshot. His is doing like bursts of about 20 in one go.
And he destroys the target, doesn't he?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Absolutely obliterates it.
And when he's finished, he does that twirl again.
Yes, he does.
That's Murphy's twirl, isn't it? It's not Robocop's twirl. And they were supposed to have erased his memory. So that was the first time I thought, there's a little bit of him still in there.
Yes, there's a little bit buried deep in that memory of his to do it, because obviously they've not taught him to do that. And this is where Lewis then looks, doesn't she, and thinks,
the same as me.
Yeah, is that Murphy? Yeah, so that little bits that they put in, I think is brilliant. You know, just a little subtle clues. Very good.
And then he's out on the street, isn't he?
No, there's one bit. Yeah, there's one bit before that.
Oh, sorry, yes.
There's one bit where he walks through the precinct and they throw keys, don't they? And he catches the keys.
Yes.
And he walks off. Now, the bit of trivia, because his hands were like metal, plasticky things, Peter Weller couldn't catch the keys. It said it took over an hour, keep doing that scene over and over and over again until they actually caught them.
What? Something so simple as that?
Yeah, he couldn't catch because they bounced out of his hand. He couldn't close his hand quick enough because as soon as they hit him, they bounced off it. Whatever it was made out of, the hand. He couldn't grab it quick enough. So they said they had to keep doing it over and over and over again. And he finally got it. But when he does that scene, it's seamless.
Yeah, he just catches them and walks out.
Walks off. And then he gets into the car. Now I'm thinking, watching this, as he gets in that car, it doesn't move because you think he'd weigh a bit, wouldn't he? You think the side of the car would go down slightly.
I suppose so.
Nothing, but the other bit of trivia, the suit. Peter Weller couldn't bend in the suit. He couldn't sit in the suit. So any scene where you see Robocop going downstairs, he couldn't go downstairs in it either. Or sat in a car, it was just the top off. He wasn't fully suited in that scene.
I beg your pardon?
He got trousers on. He just got the top half of the suit on.
Oh, well, it's amazing, isn't it?
It is what you learn.
Yeah,
it's what you learn.
You just take it for granted.
You do. You just think he sat fully in that suit. No, he's not. And he couldn't get downstairs. So the nightclub scene a bit later on when he walks down the stairs, it's just the top half of him. He couldn't walk down the stairs.
How did all those people Keep a straight face.
Well, he'll have had trousers on, wouldn't he? I don't think he'd have been in full birthday suit doing those. But then this is, like you say, this is where we see him now out on the street for the first time. And we see his first interaction because there's somebody holding up a liquor store, as they say in America.
Yeah, nasty. I mean, that poor old man and woman work hard for a living and people can just come in and decide, I'm having that, that's mine, open the till.
That's it. But there's a little bit he does before this. When he walks past, he picks up a magazine. Now, do you know what magazine he picks up?
Is this the robber?
The robber, sorry, yes. The man that's holding up the liquor store.
No.
He picks up, which is quite ironic. I think they did this on purpose. I think it's there as an Easter egg. He picked up Iron Man.
Did I?
Yeah, he picked up the Iron Man comic, so which is a nod to Robocop being like Iron Man. Pretty much, isn't he? So that's why he did that. And then there's I think it's another magazine. I can't think the name of it, but his son's reading it. You know, when it clicks to his son,
yes.
memory, his son is reading that magazine. But they're the two little nods. And then, like you say, sorry, I'm waffling. And then this is the first bit where we see him interact with a criminal.
Yes, because he comes in, doesn't he? And he says, drop your gun. You are under arrest.
Yes. And then
they must have all looked round and thought, what?
Because he actually says, doesn't it? Which we won't say the word in because we are a family-friendly podcast.
Of course.
He says he says a naughty word, and like you would do, and you're like, what? And then he walks up to him, doesn't he? After he's shot him a few times, he bends his gun.
Yes.
Bends it round, doesn't he?
And then he throws him into that fridge, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, he tries to run, doesn't he? It's more like a little backhanded clothesline, isn't it? He tries to run, and he sticks his arm out, and he hits him, and he flies.
Now, what happens to him then? Because he says to that the owners, "Thank you for your cooperation," and seems to walk off.
Yeah, I thought that. Nothing. He doesn't exactly arrest him, and this also happens a bit later on as well. I'll touch on this in a minute. He doesn't arrest somebody else, and you think, well, why didn't you arrest him?
Yeah, and now it cuts to the next scene, which is, let's be honest, it's really hard to watch. It's a scene that we don't want to watch, and it's two men kind of abusing a female down a back alley.
It is, yeah, and no, this isn't right on any level, but thank God for Robocop because they get their just deserves.
He certainly does, and he manages to shoot one where, shall we say, no man would want to be shot. No,
because also he's a robot, but he's got probably 100% shot accuracy, so wherever he wants that bullet to go, it's going, and like I say, he scans.
Sorry, the lady then runs towards him for comfort, doesn't she?
Yeah, hugs him.
And what does he say? Madam, you've suffered an emotional shock.
Yeah, I've put you in touch or something with a, did he say rape? Crisis centre. But this is also the first time, or is it the second time, we see the gun come out of his leg.
Yes.
Doesn't it? Comes out of his thigh bit. And I still think that looks amazing. As it
does.
It opens up and he pulls this monster gun out of his leg. And it's just his mannerism. I think for me watching him, it's the slowness. And Peter Weller, the way he moves as Robocop, phenomenal.
It is.
Because it's him making it look like a robot. It's him making Robocop be a robot in theory. Because if you watch, when he goes to turn right or left, his head will turn to the left slightly, then it's the full body movement to the sides.
That's strange because thinking about it now, I kind of almost thought as though it was a robot and Peter Weller was in the robot and it was moving him.
Yeah, I can see that because his movement, his face, like everything he did is 10 out of 10. Oh. It really is. And all the way through the film, his mannerisms as this robot, fantastic. He did an excellent job of portraying Robocop.
He did. I mean, it does make you wonder what, say, somebody like Arnie would have done. He'd have done an excellent job, but maybe Weller, he's got it, hasn't he? He's just got it.
He's got it, and I think he worked with a mime coach because it's very similar to mime, isn't it? When you watch,
yeah, I suppose so.
The movement. So he was with a mime coach, but like we say, he's still got to do that in that suit. Now, God knows what that suit weighed or how hot that suit is to be in. Because they kept having to take breaks to pump air into him to cool him down. Blimey. But to even do it, and like you say, to watch him turn and move, Fantastic.
Anyway, the next one is a hostage scene at City Hall.
I love this
and the police are already there, aren't they? And then Robocop arrives and just tells them, keep him talking.
Yeah, like, where are you going? And he just goes in, doesn't he? And it's some of the demands he makes. It's just bizarre.
Yeah.
You know, does he say I want a jet helicopter or something and somebody to fly it? Well, obviously you're going to need somebody to fly it. You're not going to fly it yourself, are you? And a car, a fast one. And then doesn't he say, do you want to Blaupunkt, which is a radio, isn't it? And he just looks at him and goes, now you're going too far. You know, you're mocking me. And you're like watching this and thinking, you're a buffoon. You're an absolute buffoon. But also the bit I like in this, if you look and if you watch it on the 4K version, you know, Robocop comes past and he does like the infrared, pretty much like Predator, doesn't he?
Yes.
The heat signature suit. But they didn't use heat signature. It's people in a suit that's been painted. So when when he turns round with the hostage, you can see the zip on the back of the suit.
Can you?
If you really look, they're in suits that have been painted, and you can see like a 3-foot zip down his back.
No.
For the suit. You can watch it again. You'll see it.
I will.
Watch it for just that one bit. And then obviously he's still doing the hostage bit, and Robocop then has detected him through the heat seeker, the heat, which is a bodysuit. And then he just punches his arms through the wall, doesn't he? And drags him back and drags him through. And then what does he do with him?
He throws him out the window, doesn't he?
Throws him out the window. But then we get back to one of these news clips, and the clip is him coming out the window.
Yes.
You know, and then we see Robocop then with school kids.
Yeah, a bit freaky that for me.
Yeah, I thought he's just thrown someone out of a window, and now he's being all nice with the school kids.
And they were all kind of, he was walking forward, they were behind, and then when he turned and they all stopped. That game you used to play as a kid.
Yeah, and then again, we're doing the news and we've been in somewhere else, and then it's a clip for a board game.
Oh.
Do you know what the board game's called?
Go on.
Nukem.
That's it.
I'm like, what context has this got to this film? And you're like, this is so bizarre.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Nukem.
Yeah.
Get them before they get you.
Yeah, that's it. And you're like thinking, that is brilliant, whoever's put that in.
And that actual explosion that goes above their head.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, how that got, like I say, brilliant editing, whoever put that in. And then, like I say, we go through, and then we see Bob Morton again, don't we? And he's been promoted to senior vice president, isn't he, or something like that. And he's
does he talk to the news saying there's a new guy in town, Robocop?
He does, yeah.
Because it's his invention, isn't it?
Yes, it's his vision. And then, because he's been promoted to senior vice president, he gets to use the swanky upstairs bathroom, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Because he's got a gold card. I love this bit because he walks in and he's just absolutely ripping into Dick Jones, isn't he?
But look at the way it's shot. It's shot from a very
through the toilet,
unusual angle.
Yeah.
Dick Jones's ankles in the cubicle, which I think is brilliant.
It is, and then you see Dick Jones pulling his trousers up. But the bit I like is Bob's giving it all the big one, isn't he? Saying, "Oh, Dick Jones is an old man. Is this? There's a new kid in town," and everybody's getting out of the bathroom as quick as they can because they know he's in the stall. And the bit I love with this, his mate, who he's just been bragging to, actually just zips himself up mid going to the toilet and is just wet himself to get out of there.
Yeah.
So that shows you how much power Dick Jones has got.
He has. And they both argue, and to be fair, they both stand the ground, don't they?
They do, yeah.
But you'd be more scared of Dick Jones than you would of Bob Morton.
Yeah, because he grabs Bob, doesn't he, by the hair.
Yeah.
And tells him he needs to be careful. And I'm thinking, it just shows you what a nasty man.
Both of them are, really.
Yeah, they're both after the same. But the thing is, they're both after the same thing. So why can't they just work together?
I don't know.
But I think Dick Jones is wanting Ed 209 to be like a military thing, isn't he? That he can sell.
That's right, yes.
Where he's wanting Robocop to be on the streets, police force.
But speaking of Robocop, do we go back to the precinct where he's sleeping and there's these lab guys who are supposed to be monitoring him? But what are they doing? They're feeding the faces.
They're having a burger. And this is the bit where the memory then starts to come back to him.
Yes.
You see, I like this. Now, what screams 80s to me is what was in the OCP boardroom and what we see here. A lot of TVs stacked on top of each other.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, yeah.
You know, they're always like monitor TVs, and we know from being in the 80s how much a CRT TV weighs.
Oh.
So there's some weight there on these bad boys, and it's like... And the bit I like with this is because when he's going back through his memory and you see him being shot again, the facial expression of him, like he's being actually shot.
And he's moving from side to side, getting more irritable.
Yeah. But now he's got a vision of the people that did that. He doesn't know what's gone on, probably, but he's got a vision of them in his head.
And he sees Bodiger, doesn't he? And he's taking his final shot, and then he bolts upright, doesn't he?
Yeah, then he's off. And again, it's the movement of Peter Weller. Because his head turns to the side, then the body goes like an actual robot. And that's the only thing I could take from it last night was brilliant. And then they all come running in, they only what's gone on. And they see the chart. He's gone off the chart, hasn't he?
And as he's making his way down the corridor, Louis sees him, doesn't she?
Yes.
And she says, Murphy, is that you? That was the first time I thought, she knows it's it.
Yes. And then he keeps going, doesn't he? And then one of the, I don't know what they are, the scientists, would you say, or the people that's making him?
One of them lab guys.
Yeah, lab guys. And he runs to her, what did you say to him? And she said, well, nothing, sort of thing. And then he's back in the car and he's off again, isn't he, onto the streets, doing what he's programmed to do, protect the streets.
Yes.
Uphold the law, shall we say.
And then do we see, what did you say, Emile?
Emile, yes.
Pulling up at a petrol station.
Yes, he's robbing the petrol station and he's just mocking some young college kid, isn't he? And he's like, you know, and he's getting free gas. And then this is the bit where Emile says, because doesn't Robocop say, dead or alive, you're coming with me? He says the line again, doesn't he?
Yes.
And this is the bit where Emile twigs on who it is. And he says to him, you should be dead. We killed you.
Yeah. And he's in disbelief, isn't he?
Yeah. And this is the bit where you see he's playing it back over and over in his head. So, like I say, this is the bit where he's starting to twig on what's been going on. And this scene, I think, is also a very good scene because...
Oh, it's awesome. It's
awesome. Obviously, they blow up the petrol station. And before that, obviously, you see the young college kid run off. Do you remember the book he was reading?
I have no idea.
Plane Geometry. So about airplanes. So, you know, so he makes a run for it. And then he blows up the petrol station, doesn't he?
Oh, what a shot.
And then Robocop's just walking through it, isn't he? Toward, like, you know, at the edge of it.
No CGI in them days. Somebody had to do that.
One shot. One go, one shot. And then, obviously, he snapped out of him thinking about a meal and, like, he's playing it back. And then he shoots the motorbike, doesn't he?
Yes.
And then Emile swerves and hits the car and flies off.
And he hits it at some speed.
Oh, yeah. And then then he picks him up. And what does he say to him when he picks him up? Does he say...
I think he says, who are you?
Yeah, that's it. Who are you? But then he must arrest Emile because he says later on that he's just got out of prison or something. But we don't see him arrest him. And now, obviously, his memory's been tweaked by this. So then he goes into the police force.
Yes.
Into their file system.
Yeah, and he's told, isn't he, this is a restricted area, as though you'd stand up to Robocop.
Yeah, you've got some guy, like, you know, like a bookworm guy saying you can't go in there. And then he pops that thing out of his wrist, out of his fist, doesn't he, which is...
It's like a data stick, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a dagger.
Yes.
Pretty much. And then he sticks it into the machine, and now he's got full access to everything.
I suppose when I was watching it, I'm thinking, it is like a data stick, like I've just said, like what we use every day on a USB stick. And that would have seemed, well, it did seem unheard of in those days. All the data were on these big, I don't know, reels that used to make a hell of a lot of noise.
Yeah, it was. And I think this is probably the most futuristic bit, one of the most futuristic bits, because now this is pretty much what we can do now. You can scan databases. You can find people like this. You can face match people, recognition. So I think they got pretty spot on in the 80s.
Yeah, because it does, he kind of uploads the data
Yeah.
From that Emil, and it finds all his accomplices, doesn't it? Including Bodiger.
Now, this bit, I'm just changing the subject slightly. Now, back in the 80s, obviously, I loved this film, absolutely loved it to bits. Now, the video game I had on the ZX Spectrum. Do you remember the ZX Spectrum, Darren?
I do. I never had a games console, but I remember them all.
It was brilliant. It was fantastic. It was only like an 8-bit microcomputer, the Spectrums. So it wasn't graphically amazing, but the Robocop game, I remember playing that for hours and hours. And this bit has just reminded me, because he does the facial recognition and it spins through the mouth, doesn't it? And then the nose and the eyes, and it makes the face. There was one part of this game on the Spectrum, on the Robocop game, where you had to do that. You only had a certain amount of time and they give you the face of you had to scan through a load of them and match the mouth, the nose and the eyes. And I so vividly remember it. And because I knew we was doing Robocop, I've actually bought this game again for the ZX Spectrum recently, just so I can do this again. And because I've got a ZX Spectrum in my game collection, just so I can do it again. Because this film, now rewatching it and talking about it, has spurred that nostalgicness of me, of being 11 years old.
That's brilliant.
To want to go and do it again. I remember getting up on a Sunday morning early, and I remember Mum and Dad being still in bed. It must have been early, about 7 o'clock, getting up and turning this game on just to play the game because it was that good. And that little bit there just totally reminds me and takes me back to that place in the 80s in my bedroom.
Excellent.
Playing this game. Sorry, Darren, so I've waffled a little bit, but
No,
that's what these podcasts do. And this is why I like it, because it stirs that nostalgicness in my head to go and buy the game again. Don't get it was only £3 on the ZX Spectrum, so we're not talking major money, and want to do that again.
Well done.
Want to relive it again.
Well, you have to tell us what it's been like, what it's, the actual graphics and everything else looks like.
Well, it probably won't look that great anymore, but I'll give it a go. And if we do start doing video podcasts, we can stick a clip in of me playing the game. You know what I mean? So, and things like that. But no, very much getting back to the film, very much, I think that bit was pretty spot on for where we are now.
It was, because he's seen Bodiger's face, and then he sees all the faces of the murders that Bodiger's committed.
Yes.
And he sees his own face, doesn't he?
Yes. He was one that Bodiger had killed. And it says deceased across it, doesn't he, Murphy?
Now, again, his memory is supposed to have been erased, but he's jogging. Your brain's an incredible thing. And there's little bits of information everywhere. You can't totally erase it.
No, it's like doing this podcast. We'll talk, like I've just said there. It unlocks these little bits that have been buried in there for such a long time. You've forgotten about them for 30 odd years. And just this, like I'm just getting back to the Spectrum game, that unlocked that little bit of memory in my brain. And I thought, I need to do that again.
And that could have been gone forever, couldn't it? There'd be no reason or need for you to think of that until you're prompted.
No, and this is why I love doing this. I love the nostalgicness of it. And, just having discussion with you about it, because we have the same passion of this. It's brilliant. And then his memory's been unlocked, and then he goes back to his house, doesn't he?
Oh, it's sad. This is very sad, this bit. It is.
Do you remember what the road was called?
Nope.
Primrose.
Primrose, yeah, actually, yeah, I think I did notice that.
Did you notice that? It's Primrose Lane.
But his house is up for sale, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wife and child have moved on.
Which you can understand, because they don't really tell us time-wise how long it took for him to become Robocop, from his being
apparent
killed.
Death to,
yes. So we don't get a timeline, do we? How long this has been? Has it been a year? Has it been 2 years? We don't get that. So we've got to assume it's been quite a while.
And this is where, when he's wandering around the house, he sees his child watching the TV. Is that the gunslinger?
Yes, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the DJ Laser, what he watched. And the magazine, which I touched on earlier, that's on the floor. So he's getting these little bits of how his life was.
And now he's hell-bent on revenge, isn't he?
Yeah, it's coming more to the front now, isn't it? It's coming more to the... Which you would do. You've taken this away from me. So I'm going to I'm coming for you now. But the house was really quite a nice house.
It was. He had everything, didn't he?
He had, yeah.
Had wife, child, steady job.
He did. And the bit that confuses me when he goes through the house, he goes into the kitchen area. And there's the picture, isn't it, of himself, his wife, and his child.
Mm.
But there's like obviously flowers there at the side. And there's like burnt bits of paper, like a book that's burnt. And the picture is burnt. And I couldn't get my head around, why is that burnt?
It's almost as though the house has been left and they've just abandoned it.
Yes, absolutely. They've just abandoned it. And you're seeing the memories of him and his wife and son. And like I say, even though he's a robot, there's still a memory in there of that.
But I suppose his wife has been told, unfortunately, he's being killed in service.
Yeah, and we see the first bit of anger come out of him.
Yes.
Because he's like a TV with somebody talking, because he must think someone's coming to view the house, doesn't he? Because he's telling him about the house space and everything. So it must be like an estate agent. And this is the first bit we see. And he punches it, doesn't he, as he walks past.
But where does he go to next?
Yes, this is the nightclub scene. He goes looking for... He's in arrest mode, isn't he? Yes. He's looking for one of the gang.
So as you said earlier, whilst he's in this nightclub going down the stairs, he's got his trousers on at the bottom and Robocop on the top.
Yeah, he's in arrest mode for Leon Nash.
Leon Nash? Oh, is that his name?
That's his name, Leon Nash. He's in arrest mode.
When he catches up with him, he tries to kick him in the nether regions and, well...
Not very clever, that, is it, really?
Not really. Because he hurts his foot.
Yeah, and he drags him out then. But...
He drags him out by the hair.
There's a little bit, he does. But just before that, when he kicks him in the nether regions, it clips to someone dancing, like a face leant over dancing, doesn't it? If you watch it. Okay. Just before he grabs him, sorry, it's a bit of trivia. It'll make sense to you in a minute. There's like a guy dancing with longish hair, and he's like dancing. It's only a split-second clip. That's Paul Verhoeven.
Is it really?
Yes. That's his cameo in the film. And then it cuts to Robocop, grabbing him by the hair and dragging him out.
I'll watch for that next time.
It's just very, very quick. But that's Paul Verhoeven. And then we go into Bob's house, don't we now? And Bob's doing something he shouldn't do with two ladies.
Oh, he's snorting cocaine like an idiot.
Yes. Yeah, drugs aren't clever. Kids don't do drugs. Don't.
And there's a knock at the door, which... That surprised me, because Morton answers it, doesn't it? And it's Bodiger.
Yeah, and he walks in as calm as anything, doesn't he? And this is the bit I like about Clarence. He's very calm. Nothing's rushed. He knows exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah, shoot him in the legs.
Yeah, he shoots him in the legs. 4 times he shoots him in the legs.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, if you're there to kill him, why haven't you just killed him? Why are you shooting him in the legs? And then he plays the video, doesn't it? In fact, wasn't it a DVD?
Yes, it was a CD DVD.
Now, they wouldn't have been out then, would they?
No, it would have been more probably late 80s, would have been Laserdisc-ish. But it's futuristic. So again, they got that one spot on.
Yes. See, I noticed things.
Yeah, well done, Darren, well done.
Didn't have too much wine at that point.
But they do. But the thing that I take from this whole scene is, it's his media setup. It's just everything you'd have wanted in the 80s. That screams 80s to me. That I would love that now. That setup. That is fantastic. But he's got 3 screens.
Right.
If you look at it, he's got 3 screens. He puts it on. And then if you look behind him when he's on the floor, there's 2 more screens stacked on top of each other.
Is there really? How much DVD do you want?
Exactly. But it's playing the same thing on everything.
Yes.
And then we see the iconic bit where Clarence is shaking the grenade, because obviously Dick Jones has just basically said, you mess with the wrong guy.
Yes, he's gone behind his back and he's not happy.
No, so you had this come in and I'm going to give it to you, basically, isn't it?
Yes.
And he then puts the grenade. And I never noticed until I rewatched it. There's a timer on the grenade.
Is there really?
Yeah, it's counting down. So when he goes to the table to try and grab it, it's on 7 seconds. And then he's still talking to him, isn't he, Dick Jones, as this is going on.
Yes.
And then it gets to 0 and then boom.
And
He's
Bowdigger all the time, he's just nonchalantly walked out. I'd be legging it. I'd be out of there quick.
Yeah, he's just gone, and then like he's not done anything. And then I like this next scene because this is where he's talking to one of the drug lords, should we say?
Yes.
Bowdigger, and he's basically telling him what they're going to do, and he's like, "Oh no, this is the first person you actually see Semi stand up to him and say no."
No, but again, Bodigger's doing it with a swagger.
Yeah,
His confidences must be so high, and you think you're going to get put in your place sooner or later. But he's just not bothered, is he?
no, because obviously the guy what's his name? I can't think of the guy's name. And he's drinking red wine. Is it Sal? Sal, isn't it? Is the name?
Yes.
Sal, that's it. It's just come to me. And he's drinking the red wine. And when Clarence is talking to him, he actually sticks his 2 fingers into his wine, doesn't he?
Yes.
And then licks his face. Then he carries on drinking it. And you're like, what? And then he's like saying, we're going to buy this, buy that. And he says no. And then you just hear this almighty thud.
And who's at the door?
Robocop. And it takes him a few to knock it off its hinges. But then he's in. And this is where you see him in full flow, shooting them.
Yes, come quietly or there will be trouble. I like that.
Yes. He gives them all the chance, doesn't he, before, and then one of them shoots at him, and then we just see him go to town on them.
Yeah, but the bullets are flying off him at the minute, aren't they?
Yeah, they're bouncing off him. And he's just letting go with that weapon of his, and he's taking everybody out, isn't he? And then, the funny bit I like about this, Sal's right-hand man actually kills Sal. Doesn't
I
he?
must have missed that.
Yeah, because Robocop shoots him. He's the one that stood behind him in the negotiation.
Ah, yes.
And Robocop shoots him, and he spins round, and he shoots Sal. So Robocop doesn't kill him; it's his mate. And then, like I say, he's basically gone through everybody. He doesn't kill. It's DJ, isn't it? The one with the funny laugh.
Yes.
He doesn't kill him. He knocks him off, doesn't he? And because obviously we see him later on, and then it's just Robocop and Clarence for the first time.
Yes. And doesn't Bowdigger jump off like a platform and through an office roof?
He does. Yeah, he jumps off a platform, and this is where Robocop gets him, isn't it?
Yes. And he takes him, strangely enough, he squeals, doesn't he then, Bowdigger?
Yeah, you actually, for the first time, see his true colours. He's basically saying, no, you can't do this. I'm protected. And he's, for the first time, probably thinking, I've met my match here. I can't do anything with this.
Yeah, I mean, he's roughed him up a little bit, hasn't he? Robocop.
He keeps throwing him through panes of glass, doesn't he?
Yes. But
which is good.
Like we say, eventually he squeals and tells him all about Dick Jones.
Yeah, I work for Dick Jones. I'm protected. You can't do this. But Robocop gets him and arrests him, doesn't he?
Yeah, because he's got him by the throat. And doesn't the line come up, the objective is to uphold the law? Yeah,
because he's saying, you're a cop, you can't do this. And for the first time, Robocop is wanting to go against his objectives, isn't he? Because he knows who this guy is now.
Yes.
And he's just wanting to carry on squeezing, isn't he? And take the life from him, which, by rights, he should. He should be able to, and he should just do it there and then, to be fair. And he doesn't.
No, he takes him back to the station, doesn't he?
Yeah, he takes him back, and he throws him into the counter, doesn't he? And he says, book him. And he says, what for? Do you remember the line he uses?
He's a cop killer.
He's a cop killer. Well done, Darren. Well done.
And Bowdigger, again, he's so full of confidence and arrogance, and he just says, give me my call, because he knows he's allowed one call. And you know that he's going to be phoning Dick Jones.
Yeah. And where does Robocop go?
Robocop, is he now going to see Dick Jones?
Yes, he goes to arrest Dick Jones, doesn't he? Now, he goes in and he's playing back from Clarence, isn't he? What Clarence has said to him as he's walking towards the office door.
Right, yes.
Yeah, he's got it, and he's saying, I work for Dick Jones. Dick Jones is just sat waiting, he's twiddling his thumbs, waiting. And as Robocop comes in to arrest him, this is where number 4 comes in, Darren. Remember we spoke about earlier?
Oh, right, yes.
Prime detectives. This is number 4. And number 4 of the prime objective, obviously we'll go through them again. Number 1 is serve the public trust. Number 2 is protect the innocent. Number 3 is uphold the law. And number 4, the hidden one, is explicitly presents action against OCP executives and causes immediate shutdown. So as he goes to arrest Dick Jones, this is where he shuts down because he's not allowed to arrest Dick Jones.
Sneaker.
That is the hidden objective.
That is
on number
sneaker.
4. Yeah, I thought that, and I purposely looked for it because if you look at the start, it says hidden, and then it comes out what it is. So I made a quick note of what number 4 was, because we all know the 3 ones. You can recite them. Number 4 was the one who was like, what's 4? And then this is where it makes sense now. Because as a child watching it, you probably didn't understand what is going on here.
As an adult, I didn't.
Yeah. What is going on here? Why is he shutting down? What has he got that's done this? Because it says violation on his screen straight away. Violation. And now, because Dick Jones is holding his hands out cockily going, come on then, arrest me, because he knows he can't. Right. He knows he can't hurt him in any way.
So this is where Dick Jones brings in Ed 209, isn't it?
Yes. And again, Murphy, the poor man, he just gets it again, doesn't he?
Oh, it just unloads the machine guns on him.
Yeah. And he just finally makes it to the stairwell, doesn't he? Because Ed 209 is just doing a number on him.
Yes.
And he falls down the stairs. And this is where we see Ed 209's weakness. He can't go downstairs.
Yeah, which is an obvious weakness. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of War of the Worlds. It's the simplest things that kills the aliens. In War of the Worlds, it was bacteria. Ed 209, some stairs.
Like I say, so if you want to get away from Ed 209, just run up a flight of stairs or run down a flight of stairs.
Or move to a different country.
Exactly, or stay well out of his way. But that's the weakness of this machine. And again, looking at this is the first time where we obviously see them together. Now, this is brilliant. You know, looking at the two of them.
Yes.
One is sleek and designed to be on the street. The other is just built for war, basically. And they're having this massive standoff. And getting through the film, I'd have thought Ed 209 would have put more of a fight up, towards the end.
Yeah.
What we see. You're expecting this big fight, but we don't get it. And we'll touch on this later on, what we're going on about, if you haven't seen Robocop. But the first bit is where you see him grab his arm and he puts a bit of a fight up and Ed 209 shoots himself in theory, doesn't he?
Yes. And
this is where he starts to squeal and make all those silly noises. And I think you told me what the noises were.
Yes, if I remember, it's I think it was a jaguar's growl.
That's it.
And I think it was a pig's squeal.
A pig squeal. And that's the noises he's making when he's on top of the stairs. And because you told me this a while back, I was purposely listening. And I purposely went, I can hear the jaguar growl. And you can hear the pig squealing. As plain as anything, you can hear that pig squealing.
But unless somebody tells you what that is, you just take it as though it's a robot noise.
Yeah, you just take it for granted. And Robocop is down the stairs. And again, for me, Darren, I love the stop motion. To me, it is fantastic. The time people must have taken to do stop motion video.
Oh.
Geniuses. Absolutely brilliant. 10 out of 10 to the people that did this. Because even though it's from 1987, it still looks good.
It still
holds up. It definitely looks good. And then he falls down the stairs. And then we see it like a beetle on its back. He can't get up. And he's getting really agitated because he can't get up. So that's the other floor. Just knock him over. He can't get up.
It's like putting a tortoise on its back.
Exactly, Darren. It's like getting me on that sofa watching these. I don't want to get up. You know what I mean? And then again, this is the bit I really do feel sorry for Robocop. Again, he's just endured that with Ed 209. And then when he steps down into the parking lot, what happens there?
Oh, they're all waiting for him, aren't they?
Yeah, and even the cops say, you can't do this, he's a cop, so they're trying to stick up for him.
But they unload on him, don't they?
Again, and it's just relentless what this man has had to go through in this film. It's relentless. The shootings.
I think he manages to crawl. Is it in a parking lot or a basement? But wherever it is, he manages to fall down onto the next level, and Lewis is waiting for him, isn't she?
Yeah, she's just driving past, and you see pretty much the humanity side of him in this scene, because she nearly runs into him with the car, and he's basically got his hand out, hasn't he, as if to say, "No, stop." You see that side of him, where if he wasn't getting the memories and he wasn't getting to the sense of the feelings back, a robot wouldn't have done that. They'd have just let it hit him. Where he actually puts his hand up like we would. "No, don't hit me," sort of thing, doesn't he?
Mm.
And then she takes him. And of all places, I thought this was quite weird. Why would you take him there? Do you remember obviously where she takes him?
I don't know, but just breaking from that, when she takes him away, we get one of those crazy adverts again. And it's a T-Rex, isn't it, advertising a car?
And do you remember what the car was?
No.
Oh, Darren, it's the most futuristic looking car that looks absolutely... It looks terrible now, doesn't it? Probably hardly wanted it to look. It's not the best looking thing, should we say. You might like it, Darren. To me, I was like, I'd like something a bit better than that. But the car was...
It reminded me a bit of Knight Rider.
Yes, a bit like Total Recall-y for me.
Yeah.
It reminded me. And Paul Verhoeven, he did Total Recall, didn't he?
I've no idea. Did he? Oh.
Yes, I swear I've got that right. I'll have to look it up, but I think he did. But the car, just touching back to the car, was the 6000 SUX.
How do you know that? Because I don't remember it telling you. Or did it?
Yeah, it does on the advert. There's an advert just after the dinosaur. Or it is the dinosaur advert. And it tells you, and it's got it written on the car. Because they both, we'll talk to you on in a minute, they both turn up in the same car. Oh. Yeah, and like you say, it's the most random adverts and most random news stories. And I'm like, I don't quite get this. Is it trying to take you off the film, what's just happened, and then draw you back in?
I don't know. Because whatever has happened with Robocop, it seems to be in that place, doesn't it? But after a few other incidents that have happened. But these adverts, I quite like them. I don't know why, but I quite like them.
They're a bit weird, and then it's also on these adverts, they're saying that the police now are going on strike at midnight.
Can you imagine
this means, no police. No police in this at all. So we see that, and then this is the bit where we see Clarence going to see Dick Jones. So obviously he's got out.
And he's all dressed really smartly, and he's trying it on with the secretary, who can see him for what it is.
But do you know who the secretary is?
No.
That is Clarence Bodica's real life wife.
Is it real?
That's his wife, yes. So she got a cameo in the film.
I thought the look that she gave him was quite realistic, so he must be like that in real life.
Yeah, like a wife would look at you as if he was doing that with her. If he was trying to get a bit fruity on a Saturday night, the look the wife gives me. But that's his wife.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then he goes in to see Dick Jones, doesn't he?
Yes.
And he tells him, "You've compromised me, involving me in the arrest." When he grassed him up to Robocop.
Yeah, doesn't he say the line just before that? Something like, "Why didn't you kill him?" Or whatever. Why did you grasp me up or something? It was all being recorded. He's like, "Look at my face." Doesn't he, that line?
That was it.
His character, because like I say, he looks like an accountant or a banker.
Yes.
He doesn't look like this nasty guy. And he's just there in his like smart suit with his cigarette. And this is where Dick Jones is now telling him he's got to be the one to kill Robocop.
Yes. But he doesn't want to do it, does he?
No, he says, no, why is it falling on my shoulders? Why have I got to be the one to do it? And then he hooks him in, doesn't he? What does he say to him to hook him in? He
talks about Delta City. It's going to be built in around 2 months, and there'll be lots of opportunities for a man like yourself. I think he means drugs and other kinds of things.
Nightclubs and all the things you shouldn't be doing, yeah. So he pulls him in, and then he gives him a tracker, doesn't he, for Robocop?
Yes.
And then it cuts next to Lewis, doesn't it? Now, like I've just said before, where did she take him? Can you remember where she took him?
She took him to the steel mill again.
And that's where he was executed.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, why would you take him back there?
Is she trying to get him some memory back that she thinks he'll remember, even though she doesn't know he does remember?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a safe place. Maybe it's just the last place that they would think of going.
Yeah. And she's obviously been and got supplies for him because we see him now, don't we, trying to sort his leg out.
Oh, and then she passes him a drill.
Yeah.
And he starts taking the bolts out of his head.
Now, looking back at this, how do you feel about Robocop removing his helmet?
Okay, to me, when he takes his helmet off, I think it still looks absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I think I can't tell where... I mean, I can physically see where the skin meets the metal, but to me, the face looks false, even though it's him. I just think it looks great.
It does. It looks brilliant. But for me, I'm thinking, watching it last night, Robocop's Robocop with the helmet, isn't it? Or are we doing this? You know, we're doing this so people get to remember Murphy. It's like there was uproar in the Judge Dredd film when he took his helmet off. He shouldn't take his helmet off. So for me, personally, I'd have probably preferred if he'd have kept his helmet on.
True,
You know
but I do like it. I do like seeing him like that and what's going off underneath.
I'm not against it by any means, because like you say, that bit, if whoever's put the robot head, you know, the back of it onto his head and faded it all in, fantastic. It really is brilliant for its time. But if you also look above his forehead, there's still the gunshot wound.
I've never noticed.
You know where Clarence, the last one, that's there. It's in his skull there. And it's fantastic. But this is where now we also get Peter Weller being more humanitized as the robot, should we say.
Yes, because he looks at himself in the mirror, doesn't he?
Yeah, and his facialness is brilliant.
And he's asking about his wife and son and what's happened to them, and it's a very sad scene. And she has to tell him, doesn't she, that they've moved away.
Yes, they've moved away, they've moved on, and you see him now becoming, I'd say, sad. And then she moves, doesn't she, to comfort him.
Yes.
And he says, "No, leave me alone." So there's still that part, he's a cold robot, isn't there?
There is.
You know, that's the bit I got.
Yeah, it's a mix now between humanity and robot, to me.
Yes, it is.
Then we see all the idiots back together on the street, don't we?
Yes, we do. Because now, Emil, this is what I just was saying to you. He must have been in prison because when they turn up, they say, "Oh, you see, he got out," and he's still got the prison top on under his leather jacket. And this is, again, I'm surprised you've not said this. Well, you have said it, but you've not said it since the start. This is where we see your favourite person again, Darren.
Do we?
Yes, he breaks the window to turn the TV up so the man can say,
"Oh, I'd buy that for $1."
That's it, well done. Yeah, and he does that, and then the laughing, and then this is where we see Clarence then appear in the 6000 SUX.
Oh, right. Okay, yes.
He turns up in it, and the talking and the looking, and then he pulls this rifle out the back, doesn't he?
It's
he's
ridiculous.
Been given. Yeah, but then the other one, is it DJ, he appears in his. And he's saying he's just got out the joint and waiting for him was this brand new 6000 SUX, still with the window sticker in.
Yeah, I think that Bodiger is feeling a little bit undermined now.
Yes, he does. He doesn't say it, but he puts his actions into words. Because this is where, like I say, he gets the gun out. And what does he do with his big gun?
He absolutely blasts that off the street. What an explosion.
Yeah, but these guns, for the kick that it doesn't knock Bodiger over, it's just like a normal gun, but wow.
And then they all start, don't they, on the street?
Yeah,
blowing
they'll start having a go at it.
shops up and everything.
Yeah. And then this is where they say, right, it's time to go to work.
Yeah, because Bodiger has seen where Robocop is on his tracker, hasn't he?
Yeah. And now they're going to hunt for Robocop.
Yeah, back at the steel mill. But at the meantime, while Robocop's there, he's not aiming right. He's got that kind of baby jar food stacked up, and he can't hit it. So Lewis has to guide him, doesn't she?
Yeah, she has to guide his arm to lock on. And once he's locked on, then he's reset, isn't he? Because obviously with all the gunshots and everything shooting him, it's knocked him all over the place. And then now he's reset, and this is where they turn back up.
Yes, and he tells Lewis, doesn't he? He says, "Get out of here." But Lewis says, "No, we're partners." I like that.
Yeah, still partners. After everything that's happened, they're still partners.
And as they arrive, he's high up on a gantry, isn't he? And the
Yes.
mirror that he had to look in, he throws over and causes a distraction.
Yes,
and they'll turn and shoot. And he says a great line, doesn't he? Looking for me.
Yeah, but they're all shooting and he just wanders off, doesn't he? He just walks off, and then they start separating. And this is where it starts to get good. I think it gets really good because they all meet their demise in different ways.
Yes.
Which I thought was good.
At the beginning, Bodiger told Emil, didn't he, to stay in the truck.
Yes.
Is this the scene where Emil sees Robocop and puts his foot down and tries to run him over?
Yes, but just before this, where Robocop is on the gantry, he shoots DJ, doesn't he? One of the big guns. And then they all separate, and then he bangs on the van and tells him to go in the van.
That's it.
And this is where, like you say, Robocop then comes down, because Bodiger's gone in the car. He jumps in his car for some reason. And Robocop now is shooting at the other one. And Nash, isn't it? Leon. And then now they're all going. And like you say, this is the bit where he walks across. And this bit is fantastic. Like you've just said, Emil comes around the corner.
Yes, and he heads straight for Robocop, doesn't he?
But Robocop sidesteps him, and what does Emil crash into?
Oh, he goes into this big, I don't know, vat of toxic waste or something.
Toxic waste, yeah. And then it all spills out through the back of the van.
That's an absolute flurry, doesn't it? It comes shooting through there.
And Emil then comes out. This is brilliant. You know, that just the whole, his hands, his nails are hanging off, and his ear and his
lip.
mouth, his lip, and he's just completely now, he's done for. And as he's walking off, his fingers, the skin's hanging off.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're looking thinking, wow, that is brilliant.
And he sees one of his colleagues, doesn't he? And the reaction of the colleague, it makes me laugh because I'm thinking, does he think this is real? Because he screams.
He doesn't he? Get off me. And then he like shoves him back. And then Emil then staggers into the road. And at this point, obviously, Clarence is being then pursued by Lewis.
Yes.
Yeah, and then what does Clarence do?
Oh, he runs straight through him.
Yeah. There's no body like hitting the bonnet. He just basically implodes when he hits him.
Again, an incredible scene, but so gory to watch.
Yeah, and like we say, the bit I like is the demise is all different. It's not just like Robocop shooting them. Each one of them is different, which I quite like. And then obviously Clarence crashes the 6000 SUX.
Yes.
And spins it and drops into like a
big
puddle. Yeah, big puddle. And this is where Lewis then goes for him. But unbeknownst to Lewis, Clarence gets out of the car quick, doesn't he? He shoots her a few times, to be fair.
And he's just about to finish her when who turns up?
Robocop. And now, is it me, or does it look like he's walking on water?
You know what? I never noticed.
When he comes around the corner.
Yes, I can picture the image now in my head. But all I'm thinking, I'm too engrossed in the film at this point. But yeah.
It looks like he's walking on water. And then, obviously, Clarence has spotted Leon up above.
Yes, on that crane.
And so Clarence is basically now just buying time.
He's luring him in.
Yeah. He's waiting for him just to be in the right spot. And then, what does Leon do?
He releases absolutely tons of steel girders that come crashing down on Robocop.
Yeah. And you think, by rights, that should be the end of him.
Yes.
But it isn't. And then they all think they're all smart, but what does Lewis do?
Well, while he's doing that, I mean, Bodiger's hitting him with another iron bar, isn't he?
Yes.
And then doesn't he drive that stake straight through his what we think is his heart?
No, he does this just after Lewis has rolled over onto the big gun, shot Leon. Then that's where Clarence then decides to go for Robocop.
That's it. She blasts him out of the sky.
Yeah. But what amazed me was when he sticks the big stake through his arm, he's squealing like a human being. Isn't he, Robocop?
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah.
And I thought that was quite strange because he's not human. But he gets the ultimate comeuppance, doesn't he?
Yes.
What does Robo use for his defence?
Oh, that's it. He stabs him in the neck, doesn't he? With that
Yes.
that data stick. What we
Yes,
say.
straight in the neck. And then that's it. They've done, which, to be honest, like I said before, the end scene, there was no major, massive fight, was there, between the two? Which I don't suppose you could have, because Clarence wouldn't stand a chance against Robocop.
No, there were no. I don't think there were any fist fights throughout the film.
No. Yeah, I think he only punched one person, and that was when he was in the store. And then obviously, the Robocop and Lewis have words, don't they? And Robocop gets up.
And there's only one man left, isn't there?
Yeah, where does he go?
He goes to see Mr. Dick Jones.
At the OCP headquarters.
Yes. And who does he meet first when he pulls up outside?
Edward.
Correct.
Ed 209.
Who tells him he's parked on private property and has 20 seconds to move the vehicle.
But unbeknown to poor old Ed 209, what's Robocop got in the back seat?
He's got that gun. Everybody seems to have. Blast him.
But do you know what made me smile? The way he pulls up in the car and he kind of side-eyes Ed 209, doesn't he?
Yes.
Glances across at him and thinks, right, Busty, you're having it. And he's counting down as normal. And then, for saying these are meant to be war robots that they want to put into wars, he blows him up within 2 shots.
He does. And all you see is these 2 legs swaying from side to side, and down they go.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm thinking, if you want to put these into war, he's just shot it with 2 shots. So what would a tank do to it?
Oh, fine.
You know what I mean? And then he's there, and then he goes obviously back into the boardroom. I like this scene. I quite like this because Dick Jones thinks he's pretty safe because he can't arrest him because
that
it's number
4. Yes.
Directive 4. So he knows he's safe. He can't shoot him.
Yes, and he tells the board that Dick Jones is wanted for murder.
Yeah, and he says, what evidence doesn't he? And then he jacks into the 20 TV screens.
Yes.
And it's playing the clip where he said to Bob, wasn't it? He had to kill him.
That's right, yes. But so, I think due to Directive 4 then...
Because he's flashing up all the time, isn't it? Directive 4 on the screen.
He can't arrest an employee.
No. But what does the old man do when he grabs the old man?
He tells him... Yep, he says, you're fired.
So what does that mean? He now can, because he's not an OCP executive.
In fact, just before that, Dick Jones pulls a gun on the old man, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
That tells him, that makes him say that he's fired, and Robocop blasts him straight out the window. Now, unfortunately for me, this it were kind of spoiled because it were a bit cartoony when he fell out that window, but we can forgive it, can't we?
I've been telling you about this, Darren. There's one scene I wanted to tell you that had bugged me for years.
Okay.
This is the scene that bugged me for years because when he falls out of that window, his arms suddenly grow to about 8 foot long, and it doesn't look in proportion with his body. But because it was like a model they used of him falling and the stop motion, it made his arms bigger.
Yes, but we can forgive it.
We can forgive it, but to me, it reminds me of Freddy Krueger in Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one, when he's running down that street and his arms are like 20 foot tall.
Yeah.
Just looks daft, but we can forgive it because he's done what he needed to do. Dick Jones is no more. And then he gives the iconic line, doesn't he? What's your name, son?
Yes, he says, nice shooting, son. What's your name? And it's just fantastic when he says Murphy, and he gives a little grin.
And then
that's
no
it.
Big ending, just the ending, directed by Paul Verhoeven.
Excellent.
Done. So, Darren, what did you think to Robocop, looking back at it now?
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I loved it. I mean, what a great action film, for starters. I mean, to me, it had all sorts. It had the action, the special effects, but drama as well. There was loyalty in there with Lewis wanting to be loyal to him, but also Murphy wanting to be loyal to the badge.
Yes, and there was heart in it. You saw more humanity side coming out of Murphy the more as it went along and he was remembering who he was. Then you saw that side of him, which was good. And like we said earlier at work, for me, it was in like 4 blocks, this film. You know, it wasn't a slow bit. It was a bit of a slow builder, but you got the first block where Murphy was killed. Second block, Robocop. Third block, Robocop becoming Robocop. Fourth block, going after Clarence.
Exactly. But the story just kind of built and built and built. And you know what? Straight away, when it went off, I thought, I hope there's number 2. I hope there's a second one, which obviously there was.
Yes, there is, which I'm sure we'll cover, because that was late 80s, or was it 90? Oh, we might not cover it, because I think it was 90.
But at the beginning, we asked the question, didn't we? Will this film still stand up in 2026? And I still think it does.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. I think it's very well done. Very well done.
But the special effects, like I said, when they were putting bullet holes in people, and you said they were using meat packs or whatever they were using, it looked so realistic.
It did. It was, like we said earlier, when Murphy is being assassinated, should we say?
Oh,
that model that they used and everything, brilliant. And to be honest, the Robocop suit, fantastic. Because if you watch the remake of Robocop, have you watched the remake?
No.
Not great. But when they go in the office of the Dick Jones character, I can't even remember what he's called. I've only watched it once. It wasn't great. There is a Robocop suit in his office.
Right.
From this, and it still looks better than the suit they put the new guy in. It's just iconic. I can still see, I've got the movie poster in my room here of him, the iconic 1 foot in the car, 1 leg out the car, looking across the door, isn't he?
Which is probably the only time you see him in the car with the full suit.
With the suit, without the trousers, you know what I mean? But no, it's iconic, and that I always remember that because, like I said, it was on the video games. It's so iconic, that thing, and the gun, everything that you remember is iconic. And like
I haven't seen anything like that since Terminator. From Terminator, was that 82?
Yeah.
To Robocop in 87.
Yeah.
Similar, but both separate in their own ways.
Yeah, definitely. And I will remember, probably, now I'm racking my brain, I will have remembered going into Christine's and seeing this on the shelf for the first time. And, thinking, that's the film. Because we didn't know when they were coming out, did we, back then?
No.
We didn't know, unless it was word of mouth Robocops in the video shop. And I would have remembered going, that's the film everyone's talking about. And then you watched it and you was like, I can see why. I can see why everyone's talking about that film.
Correct. I mean, it's brilliant. And I will watch it again, if not just to pick up on all those points that you've mentioned before. I
hope you do, Darren. I hope you see all my hard work and my nostalgic brain putting into action on this podcast.
Of course.
So that's Robocop done, Darren. So what on the next episode of 80s Rewatch will we be deep diving back into?
Well, Simon, for me, all the films that we've done a certain genre. There is one genre which we haven't done yet. So we're going to go back to 1984, and I want you to bring your dancing shoes next week, because we will be watching Footloose on 80s Rewatch.